Well, hello guys, and welcome back to Lokean Gaming. So we're going to take you through a very overdue temple tour, if I don't keep hitting my stuff like that. And while we're doing this, we're going to discuss some stuff about the channel, because Loki wants to make some points. So let's go. As you can see, we have kind of a summery, feasty thing going on in here. We've been changing this temple a lot. This is the main temple. It's the temple I always hit when I come in. This is my default temple, and Odin agreed with me. He said it has to be somewhere you feel safe. So if all the world news is going crazy and all the scary stuff's happening, it has to be a place you feel safe and empowered. And it has to be a place where you feel like your faith is flowing, and that's an important discussion we've been having. So this is now a combination between the old original temples. So if you've been with these temple tours a while, you'll see a lot of older stuff, but you'll see newer stuff too, like some loggers. Got the bears back. Got the Odin and Thor statues back. Got the fox wolf back. Lots of flowers, lots of books. Got our Fenrir Wolfle. Got this in. I love this. He was like, yes, I want it. Actually, Thor wanted this. I made them new drinking horns. We still kept these elements, and we have a lot of the healing elements back in, because I have been trying to work with Odin as a healer. And as a healer of everything, not just like physical, but spiritual and everything. So it's complicated. Yes, it is that kind of woo channel. If you don't like that, there's the door. We got the hugging wolves. We've got the two wolves that were on the fireplace. We've got the triple horn for Odin, and we made it in as much as we could a rainbow. And we've got for Loki the shaman fox, and we've got a lovely drink for him. He's still got to keep his Pop-Tarts and shield. And we've got foxes and wolves. And we've got Thor's goats. And we've got some horses for the Allfather. Hugin and Mugen flying in. Freki and Gary. Got some pups going on. Got some healing herbs. And we wanted this to become more a place of peace. But you will see the shield and spear and helmet are still here. So we're trying to honor all the aspects without making it a more war temple. And you notice we have the LGBTQ plus stuff going on. So we have this, which is very big. And we have Frigga set up in front of it. And we have some foxes for Loki. And it's just one of those really nice, relaxing temples that it doesn't feel... The energy doesn't feel threatening or intense in any way. I don't feel like it's claustrophobic. And we still have that beautiful view out here. I know we have new viewers, so I might as well take you out and see the view. And it's colder here, by the way. Even though it's June, it's colder. So my VR goggles are all fogged up. So I'm seeing this fog in front of me as I'm talking to you guys. And, someone asked me once, I'm not even sure if they're still with the channel, how long does it take to do this? All total, it's hundreds of hours. Once you have all this stuff, it can take maybe 15 minutes to a half hour. But sourcing everything, putting it all together, learning the skills, it's hundreds of hours. But once you've got it, you've got it. So we're going to go to my places. Okay, so we were at Odin's Hall, first Valhalla Brewing Company. Since, God, I'm drawing blank. Freya gave up her temple. We're gonna go here, because she wanted this for her temple. Pray to the gods that this is stable. Or this is gonna be the shortest recording ever. Pray really, really hard. Here we go! It's a miracle! It's a pagan miracle! Yeah, and one of the things Odin and Loki wanted me to talk about, and all the gods, is that, I do have a tendency as a channel host to kind of, not mean to, but people will say, oh, I don't like that, or oh, I don't like that. And I have to remember, I'm here to serve the gods. I know what that sounds like, but I'm here to serve the gods, specifically Loki. So if Loki wants 80 VR videos on his channel, even if it chases everybody away, that is what Loki gets, because it is actually his channel. Now, is that not the coolest thing ever? Is that not awesome? Sketchfab has been really interested in me because they're like, you're taking an awful lot of stuff for somebody that doesn't design games. So we have the Allfather, and we have the Lady Freya. And half this stuff is in-house, like these tables and the chairs and the surroundings and the birdies you're hearing, but all this figure-ado stuff I made. The real tree as well, and the war horn. And by made, some of it was images, and I made those standees I've shown you guys before, and some of it was imported items. So we have the seats for the gods. And we have all of Odin's accoutrements here. We have beer and a lot of spirits. And he has been in love with this sword forever, so I let him have it. This is where all the food comes from, all the pub food. The chicken wings, the deluxe burgers, the beer, the loaded fries. Those were actually, Odin fell in love with those loaded fries. I said, if all the gods die of coronary disease, I'm going to be responsible. These turkeys, the fancy drinks. This is a bar, after all. And we came up with the name, and then we found out that somebody had actually used the same name for an actual brewing company, but I swear we came up with the name independently. And we've got this. And we've got the kitty in here, because this is Freya's hall. And we've got another one of those awesome Valkyrie mugs. And we've got the shrimps, and the fishes, and the burgers, and everything else. Because her hall is supposed to be one of feasting and enjoyment, and the guys can have their faithful lovers and their girlfriends and whatever, and it's just supposed to be awesome. Apples, because they're often connected to the dead in a lot of cultures, and just whatever. They're connected to any culture. Cookies, Christmas cookies that came in here, because why not? And the gods are actually helping me. They're like, look, this is Odin's seat, by the way. He's like, I want one of those burgers, and we better have chicken down here, and we better have shrimp. And there's a pizza, and there's all this beer, and there's the wings, and the ale horns, and this one's my seat. And since I don't drink alcohol, that explains the plot. And we got, like, the waffle on the wall. And we've got the awesome door that used to be in the main hall that is here, and it kind of fits with the theme. And so we moved the ravens in here as well. And it's a really nice hall now. It feels more welcoming. And we didn't try to overwhelm it and stuff 80 gods in here. I think that's why it's staying stable. Any god is welcome in here. They all know that. But we didn't have artwork this time of 80 gods. And I think that's why it's staying stable. Because the build itself is fairly heavy. Okay, let's move on. And again, they didn't have a problem with it. Okay, this is Aegir's hall. I think I keep mispronouncing it Aegir, but I think it's supposed to actually be Aegir. Let me move out of some of the stuff. So this is the hall. And again, he's supposed to have a famous hall where he greets people and they can drink and feast, and we had very limited artwork to go with, but he was pleased with that. And we got the ships naturally, and we've got the horns in here. And a lot of these temples do use similar stuff. At first that bothered me, you know, from a design perspective, but we only have so much stuff that we can make different. And it turns out that usually if one god gets a pizza, they're all like, ooh, pizza. So you can see a lot of the foods repeat themselves, and we've got a nice feasting hall here. Got the anchor here. And we got the fountain. And this is one of those things, guys, where it's important to not just listen to what I or anyone else says, but to check your personal relationship with the gods and see what kind of relationship you end up having with them. I mean, the way Aegir reached out to me for a hall was a Jimmy Buffett song that was playing on the radio the exact time I walked in. So yeah, it was okay. So got the bed, and we've got the hot tub here, and we've got the jellyfish, since you know he's connected with the deep sea. And the net, and the heart, and we got a ship's cat. And we've got this lady around here, And, you know, since they are hosts, we've got like coffee, but they're also going to have drinks. And I don't know, the bowl was just inspiration thing. And we've got the beach. And we've got the ships. It's actually an excellent thing that like gives back to the local people, but they take people out and they teach them seafaring skills. And we've got the giant ship in the bottle. And you've got other accoutrements, but we were really pleased with how this hole came out, because you only have so much stuff, guys, that you can use, and once it's gone, it's gone. And these imported dolphins that if you've been with the channel for a while, you know I'm in love with, and I think those are the best thing I ever imported. Okay, let's go on. And, okay, we're going to hit Vulgar's hole next. And there's no rhyme nor reason for when I come to these holes. If I'm working on them, I come to the hole. If I'm not working on them, there may be days or a week or so before I visit. And the gods know if there being 12 halls, I'm usually not going to visit them all. And you're going to see a lot of things repeat, but the gods have been urging me, don't drive yourself crazy trying to make every hall unique. Use what you have. And use that to unify the halls, because in their vision, this is all one great big hall complex, if that makes sense. So we've got the breakfast table here, and people can take breakfast and be out here and see this, because I get this thing from Baldur that, you know, he wants everybody to be welcome into his hall, and he wants it to feel welcoming. And they all get to choose their backgrounds, and, you know, if they want to call me into the hall, if I get a sense, okay, it's time to go into that hall and change this, then I'll do it. Otherwise, you know, I do try to leave them alone. I'm sorry that hand keeps doing that. They're having trouble tracking. So he is connected to a lot of things, so, and he picked out his design, so he got to pick out, you know, like the deer and the beer. And this is art of his by, I'm not sure if it was by the blogger or she found the art somewhere, I'm not sure, but... And, of course, he actually insisted on the mistletoe. He's like, that's one of my holy mysteries, and he has all the healing stuff in here, because he's worked with me on healing as well. And he has the sword, because that's part of the legends too. And the explorer thing he liked, and it has the sun, and he is associated with the sun. People will get into unholy fights about, you know, we have a sun goddess, and he only controls the sun, and then people fight about, no, he doesn't control the sun, it's prayer. I just give them whatever makes them happy. That's what I do, because it keeps me sane. So we've got the heart, and we've got the skull, because he's got the life and death and everything else. We've got the flowers, and we've got the teas here, because part of our relationship started out with having a lot of tea. I couldn't find very good information on people that work with him, so that's another thing about trusting your personal gnosis with a god. And then finally, I just had a breakthrough. I was like, why would he want to be off in this hall and not have, you know, visitors or anything else? So he has all the foods everyone else has. Originally, he just had this tea set and tea, and he and Nano were just like, thank you. So they have, this is much more modern for them now. They have the seats, and they have this, and they have all the good foods. And I try to make these halls as pleasant for them as possible. And I tell them, you know, I cannot... I've noticed God CMAs. I said, I cannot read minds. If there's something you want in your hall and I can get it for you, I will. I do have my limitations, but I try to get the best for them and make them happy. And sometimes, you know, guys, I will find inspiration somewhere and someone will say, oh, this god's connected to fertility or something, and then I'll lose that thing. I'll lose that, link or that blog or whatever, because it'll be taken down, and then I forget where it came from. But somewhere, once upon a time, somebody connected him to flowers and everything beautiful. So, there you go. And he has this too. They like this. And I've tried taking these apart and just having the shell, and it doesn't work, but they like this. So that is Baldur's Hall. If you're still with us, God's bless. Okay, so we've done First Valhalla, we've done Aegir's Hall. You notice it's keeping track, I just noticed that. Let's go to Freyr's Hall. Now the thing is, I keep messing up their associations, and we'll do so to the end of time, and they both love it. They both have fun with it. And they both take advantage of it too. Because then they can both get a offering. Because I'll make an offering to the one and I'll realize I messed up the associations and the other one will get it too. So they're loving it. They're double dipping is what they're doing. They're naughty gods. So, we have Baldur's Hall, and there's not an animal on this planet he doesn't like, and he definitely... It's not Baldur's Hall, Freyr's Hall. It's been a long day, I'm sorry. We're in Freyr's Hall, and there is not an animal on this planet he doesn't like. You can recognize, if you've been with the channel for a while, this was indeed Freyr and Freya's Hall. They're both back here, but this is now actually Lord Freyr's Hall. So we have the Harvest Barn sign, which he loves, and we made them much bigger, though the tiny one's still down there. So he has a lot of the cats left, which he loves. Because he somehow had me trip over an association with him with cats, and I was like, okay. That's a breach, but okay. And foxes and pigs and every other animal on the planet because he loves them all. I love this artwork for him. Most of the artwork they have I can't relate to, but that's kind of like the goofy, mischievous spirit he has with me, so I had that for his artwork. Fruit. Very fruitful god or Freyr. He was teasing me. He wanted to have traditional stuff, and I said, you know, they don't allow that on Oculus, unfortunately. So we had to go with what we could get. Got the food and the flowers and the pickles, and got some art, because he does have Freyr and Freya in here. And we got the birds and the animals, because he loved the animals, and the crystals and statue of his dad. And the angry foxes has come from Loki. Those are compliments of Loki. Well, actually, all the foxes are compliments of Loki. And we have the boars, and we have the bed, and we have Freyr and Freya, and we have moose, fox, all the good stuffs. And he loves this. He's happy. And if they're not happy and they want something changed, I do come back in and change it. But they've all been pushing me to kind of re-examine my beliefs and re-examine how I'm treating the gods, because they're all like, well, you're letting this channel influence you way too much. And you're letting what some people think and how they respond influence you. And Loki had been after me to do this. I said to Loki, you know, I kept giving him excuses. I said, well, what if we do this and someone makes a mean comment, or what if we do this and somebody criticizes our choices? And he says, do you think I care? These halls were under my supervision. I'm like, oh, okay. So if you have problems, you can take them up with Loki. And this is Hell's Hall, so welcome. She actually has a beautiful hall, and her land has been described as a paradise. She actually hates seeing herself represented. She just agreed to keep Dad happy. So you can see Loki move some Loki stuff in. And we got the wolf for Fenny. And we've got some good food for her because, yes, she enjoys the fine things in life too. She's actually really sweet and really approachable. So some of it I think she likes, and some I think is to keep Daddy happy, because Daddy will not go 5 feet from little tiny princess. And she's like, I'm a ground goddess, and Loki just will not go. So you see a lot of Loki stuff in here. That is because he said that hell is his little star. And you can feel her, you know, like how a daughter, when your dad's fussing way too much and you just want to crawl away. But she knows he loves her. He's a pest, but she knows he loves her. And the balcony, and I kept the Greek structure. She loves the Greek structure for this. This had actually been the hall of the Greek gods. I think you can tell. That's why we had the original table and everything. But Loki decided to take it over in the name of hell, and the Greek gods were like, you know what? If they're going to keep doing this to you, making you run around for all eternity, even we're not that merciless here, take it. And, you know, some lovely things to keep her company and be enjoyable. And I think she really likes it out here. So that is Hell's Hall. And I usually don't overstay my welcome. It's not that she's not very gracious, but I like to let her have her privacy. So let's go to Loki's Hall. And maybe we'll round up our tour there, because I think you guys are getting the general idea, and 12 halls are a lot to look at. The gods know if I stop now, I won't remember where I was and I will forget and we'll never see them all, but I think we'll stop here. I think that's more than enough hauls. As you see, this is taking forever to load because he kept finding something else. He wanted something else. This started off as a private temple, but then he's changed his mind over a while and he said, yeah, it's okay to have that on the tour. This over here is Segan's temple. So you will notice that it's very, you know, very beautiful. Of course, Loki drags all the sweet stuff in here, but this is Segan's temple. Just things that I would say, do you like that, don't you? And so she got the thing she likes. And she can sit here and she can watch the ships go sailing. And she seems to appreciate that. And this is supposed to be private, but you know Loki. Loki follows everywhere. Loki, Loki, Loki. Loki in the middle of everything. Little winter fox for Loki. And some healing stuff. You know, so depending on which of the lore you embrace, so they can heal, so that they can heal others. Big Loki art, he loves his firefox. Since he's a gift giver, present. Cookie fox, which he loves. The butterflies for Segan. All his junk food, he loves it. Alcohol, he also loves. Turkey, bread. He's the only one with the Viking stove left. Steaks to cook in the stove, not just raw meat to throw at him. Herbs to use. Oh, stuff is starting to shift around in these halls. Though this is Loki's hole, because I did not leave them that off kilter. Foxes. And we've got all the sewing stuff for Segan, which she seemed to enjoy. Loki, looking rather magnificent. Bread. Cat. Some of his toys, because this is Loki. Beach ball, because Loki. We've got the rainbow wolves. We've got the foxes. He is the first hall that had the angry foxes and the apples. We've got their hot tub, which he loves, with the foxes on it. And he's got the swan floaty, and he's got the food up on the hot tub so he doesn't have to get out. And all the food over here, because, you know, just give them a lot of food. And he's got his symbol in rainbow colors up there, the two interlocking snakes. And he's got the snakey, and he's got the chicken. He loves his chicken. I don't know why, but he loves his chicken. A lot of butterflies for Segan. And a lot of good food here. The key, because that's a constant joke. We've got the cake, he's got flowers, he's got all the kind of foods they could possibly want, and they don't have to leave home, and beautiful flowers. And got the foxes. And he's got the coffee maker. Loki always gets the first and the best at everything. He is, my god. One among many, but he is number one. He knows it. So he got the one and only coffee maker we have, so he can make all of his fancy coffee drinks. Hell's pitcher, which is only up because she knew Daddy wanted it. Balloons, because this is Loki's hall. And he's got the net. And he's got the fox art. And the rainbow fox. And the kitten, because Loki. The fox in the Viking ship, because it amused him. And again, we have the hot tub for them. I have the flowers. And for Fenrir. And for Jorgamander. And we have this out here so they can sit and relax in the sun. And I said, you know, what do you want to see? And they could see the pond, and they could see all the birds going, and they can watch the ship sailing. And the bed. And you see they have the flowers, and they have the kitty cat, and the fox. And his little bunny. He loves his little bunny. And they can watch the waves, and I can imagine they have the power being gods to go down to the docks, and row out to a ship. And just go sailing. Again, I can't. He's often lectured me to not become dogmatic and tell other people what to believe, but I just give them whatever seems appropriate when I make this temple for them. So they've got this beautiful, gorgeous view. And they've got the upbeat music. The temple was more solemn, but over time, Loki was worried about Segan, and he said, you know, can you make it happier? And so she helped with that. And we've got all this drinks and the good stuff. Because I can imagine the sun eventually sets here sometime. And the fox and the flowers. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. And he's got fireworks too. I forgot. There's a lot packed into this temple. He's got the cokes. Oh, I'm getting... Whoa, you're not going to the Yule Temple, my dear. Very well. I'll take you one more place. Okay, so you've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, Njord. Odin's Hall. We've been at, so you've seen that. Let's go to Oski's Hall. Poor Njord. I just feel this resigned energy, like, yeah, whatever, skip my hall. Oh no. Please do not crash. Oh no, it is crashing. So yeah, of course, it's gonna crash before we hit Oski's Hall. Okay, guys, so the gods are ending our tour there. Actually, Oculus has been crashing a lot like this, which is why it's good I'm recording the way I am. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. If you want to see the other halls, I can take you back in. Oculus has been really unstable. That's why it's doing this crashing thing. The hall itself will be fine. It's just not going to load. So I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.